everybody, this is Robin with Creative2xmom, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you tips for making writing fun in your homeschool. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and this is Creative2xmom. This channel is all about homeschooling, parenthood, and thriving in the day-to-day. And today I want to share with you a few quick rapid-fire tips for making writing fun in your homeschool. Welcome to my living room on a rainy, drizzly, half snowy day. I'm hoping that the lighting is okay and we will do our best to fix it in the editing process, but please bear with me. I really wanted to share these writing ideas with you today. Now this video is part of a collaboration which is being hosted by Jessica at the Waldock Way as well as Abby at Rooted in Rest. I'm going to link both of their channels down below as well as the playlist. This is part of the Homeschool Show and Tell, and today's video is about making writing fun. Writing is a hard subject for me to teach because I naturally love it, and when you naturally love something like writing, it's very hard to communicate the steps, because for me it's like I can see it so clearly, my brain just works that way, and to break it down for my kids has been a challenge. But when I sat down to prepare for this video, I realized there have been little bits and pieces that we have used over the years that have really opened up the world of writing for my kiddos. Now, for a little bit of a frame of reference, I have homeschooled 3 kids. I currently have 2 high schoolers and a 6th grader, and these are some of the things that we have incorporated over our 11 plus years of homeschooling. Some of them are very simple, some of them are a little bit more in depth. So I'm going to say tip number 1 is have a variety of writing utensils. I know a lot of times I can get in this mode of my number 2 Ticonderoga pencil because it erases very cleanly and lasts forever. My kids, some days that's fun, some days it's not. So some days I'll say go out, do your spelling words with chalk, take out the markers and do your writing, take out the colored pencils and do your writing. Sometimes I like to do that, or they will color code, you know, every sentence will alternate colors. I have one kid who loves to type, which for me is a win-win because he's writing and he's getting typing practice at the same time. So don't get stuck in it has to be a number 2 pencil. Open up the world for them, let them have fun with it, and see what sparks their interest. Number 2 is Rory's Story Cubes. I'm sure you have seen these. I think Target sells several of them. I know Amazon does as well. And we've sort of moved out of that phase of our writing journey, but when my kids were little, when they were in the preschool and early elementary age, we would take them out, we'd shake the dice, roll them out, and we would just tell a story. I think this is great for writing because it gets your kids in the mode of developing characters. It gets them in the mode of developing a plot line, rising and falling action, conclusions, resolutions, silliness, vocabulary. You're working on so many things when you get out and you just create a story, and that really starts to lay the foundation. Kids are storytellers and they're verbal storytellers, and so when you can connect that at that age and let them start telling you a story, it develops a scaffolding for later on in life when they are sequencing and putting together the action in a composition, or they're putting together, they're structuring a research paper. It really helps them create that structure in their brain. Number 3, and if you've been around my channel for any length of time, you have seen these, and this is Mad Libs. We love Mad Libs. In fact, we take grammar off on Fridays, and I still do Mad Libs even with my high schoolers. The challenge for them and the way to up-level this is to ask them to go deeper with their vocabulary. It's still going to be pretty simple as far as nouns, verbs, parts of the body. You're still going to find that the categories are really simple, but I'm asking them for deeper vocabulary, sometimes pulling out a thesaurus. Sometimes my daughter likes to do this. She'll pick one letter of the alphabet. She makes sure that all her words fall within that one letter, so possibly an S. Every word that she has to fill in starts with an S. And then we read them together in our morning time on Fridays. A great way to start identifying parts of speech in the younger years and fun way to increase and challenge the vocabulary in the older years. Number 5, I don't have in front of me, but my 11-year-old son has gotten into this I want to write a book thing. And so we set up a Google account for him, and he has it online and he's been typing it out. And the funny thing is it's turned into a guidebook. So he's really into Pokemon right now. And each page he is finding clip art for the particular character, and then he goes through and he writes a description for them. He talks about their strengths, their weaknesses. It's becoming a guidebook to all the characters, and I didn't realize how many Pokemon characters are, but there are a ton. So allowing your child to just sort of free write, or in this case, we're creating a guidebook. If you can tag into your kids' interests, maybe they're interested in different breeds of horses. Maybe you have a kid that's interested in arts and crafts and wants to talk about a different craft for each page, or every couple of pages, creating a how-to or a guidebook can be very, very simple. And it's a different style of writing. And so it forces them to think about, what would I see typically in a guidebook? What sort of information would I be looking for? And it's very interest-led, so you're capturing their attention right off the bat. You're not forcing them into a preconceived mold of the writing you want done, but you're making it very fun for them, and that they're getting to pick the direction. Number 6, this is our Who Is. These are a story of my life. This goes along with the Who Was books. So this is a prompt journal, and inside you'll find different prompts, like there's a family tree, who is my best friend, where was I born, what state was I born in. So this page has facts about the state where I was born, state capital, state bird, state flower, state tree. Basically, they are creating a journal of who they are. Map out your neighborhood, give your house, your block, your secret spaces, so your hiding places, pets that I've had in the past, a favorite pet, my favorite sports teams or sports that I have played, favorite superheroes, what would my superhero power be. These are a lot of fun for probably ages 9 through 13 would probably phase out of this one. I've found this to be a good fill-in once in a while when the kids are kind of getting burnt out on your typical prompts, your typical ideas for writing. They want to write about themselves. This is a good way to get that narration and that creativity flowing again. Number 6 is journaling. So my son likes to keep a journal next to his bed. If you have not noticed, my youngest is my writer. And so you can do something as simple as just a cheap composition notebook when school goes back in session, or these are really easy to find throughout the year. Or you can do something a little bit more special. My mom got journals for the kids for Christmas. You can find easy, simple, just writing journals at the Dollar Tree. Anything with a lined space like this, they can draw, they can create, they can make maps out of it, they can do illustrations. When my kids do illustrations, I try to encourage them to put a caption below it so that I know what it is. This really helps in that they know themselves so well. And so they can talk about their day. They can share a story about their day. Or if sometimes my son will say, my day was really boring. I'm like, make up a story about a pirate. He's really into the Wings of Fire series right now. So I'm like, tell me a story that you would create for the Wings of Fire series. Very open-ended and a lot of fun for him to just sit down and be creative. Number 7 is creating comics. Now, this one is going to go into my son's Easter basket next month. So he loves to draw. He loves to draw. So comics are really good for a kid that loves to draw because they can show you the action and then they have to create the story that goes along with it, whether that's captions, whether that's dialogue. And again, this is a good tool for creating dialogue. We haven't used this one before, the Write and Draw Your Own Comics, but we did get the Usborne, I think it's called the Big Pad, and it's just blank comics that the kids can create a story with. Again, they have to think about the characters. They have to think about what sort of powers that character would have or what that character's personality is like, and then they have to create the actual action. So comics are a fun one for kids as well. Number 8 would be writing letters. Once in a while we will take a break from our typical language arts and we will write a letter to a grandparent, to a cousin, to a friend, to a pastor for Pastor Appreciation Month. That would be a really great one to get a card and have your kids write to them. Maybe an end of the year teacher's gift, you're having your kids writing in the card. Again, it's just a different mode of writing, and having a card or having a nice piece of stationery just changes the whole mood of sitting down and writing. Number 9 are these Lakeshore guided writing prompt journals. We have used these over the year, and there's usually about 2 pages. This particular prompt is, think of a day when the weather was very stormy and describe with your senses what you experienced that day. Explain how you felt. And I found in this one, there's different narration stories. That one I would say falls more on the description. There is one here, create a recycling program at your school, write a letter to the principal. So again, you're writing letters. Tell about someone you consider to be your best friend. Write a story telling how you met this person and became good friends. I know there's some persuasive writing in here about persuade your parents to get a new pet. That has been my son's favorite prompt. So if you're looking for ideas, this is a good one to get started. And of course, it's just an easy thing to pull out. When you need a break from the regular same old, pull out something like this and it just breathes new life into your lessons. And tip number 10 is going to sound odd, but hear me out. Challenge your kids with good writing. Read aloud to your kids. Challenge them to read really good stories. Challenge them with the classics. Challenge them with reading that is slightly above their grade level. And this is why. Because your kids need good ideas. Feeding their brains with challenging books. Feeding their brains with current events. Feeding their brains with perhaps an article from the newspaper is going to do 2 things. It's going to build their vocabulary, which is a huge, huge one for keeping engaging writing, and it's going to give them ideas. Your kids you have to remember they have a limited life experience. You have probably traveled, you've met new people, you've lived different places. Your kids do not have that life experience that you have. And so feeding them with ideas, about people and places and events and history or events that they have not experienced, this gives them a chance to have that life experience, and then they're better able to become good writers. If they don't have those ideas, they're starting from scratch, which is very, very hard. Giving them good reading, sharing good reading with them, sharing good ideas with them, helps create this mind bank that they can then draw from in their own writing. So I think that reading is really foundational in creating good writers. It's very foundational in helping them craft a story and get that scaffolding for rising and falling action and conclusions. So much of writing is going to come from hearing good writing by good authors and good stories. So that one sounds a little funky in a video about making writing fun and making writing applicable, but I really think it's foundational in creating writers in your homeschool. So that's my 10 tips for making writing fun in your homeschool. I hope you found this video to be very encouraging. If you have any other tips, please leave them in the comments below and let's continue this conversation. Of course, everything that I mentioned about the playlist and some of our prior videos that you might find interesting will be linked in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.